Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I have the October update to my makeup and book project pan. I call this the Makeup Panners book club because it's like a little cozy book club where you read a bunch of books and roll things in that in some way like connects to the book. And then you set your panning goals and everything is... Those are the easy rules for this project. I created this project, I think I did it last year and I had so much fun. I was so successful in my reading goals because I had like the longest reading slump. I did not read because I was working as a teacher and everything I read felt like work. And like, I cannot waste time reading this, like what I want for myself, because I could read something that I could potentially use in the classroom. And yeah, it really killed my love for reading. So I'm very happy to have found my way back into reading by doing this project, because I love makeup, I love books, and combining the two is... I also love project planning, so there we are. Yeah, I have been... talking about the books that I'm reading. I only enroll items that is like to the book I'm currently reading. And this month I have a big ass... I read so much. I'm very pleased with everything that I finished. So, last update. In September, I started reading Wool by Hugh Howey. This is the first book of the Silo series, and I have not read them, but I love the show and I felt like I want to read them because I'm most of the time prefer to have read the books and then watch the TV show or movie or whatever. So I wanted to like catch up because they just finished their third season filming, so I know that it will be here momentarily. So I started reading Wool. It's about this dystopian novel about society being like everyone living in silos, like underneath the ground. You cannot live above ground outside because of some kind of toxic... The earth is some kind of toxic wasteland. So this book is about Jules, and in the show she's played by Swedish actor Rebecca Ferguson. I am Swedish, if you did not know. My name is Helena. Didn't say that either. But she is a mechanic that becomes a sheriff, because the old sheriff, in the beginning of this book, he says that I want to go out. And if you say that, if you utter the phrase that you want to go out, you have to like go outside into the wasteland. And the title of this, Wool, is because they have handed a piece of wool that they are supposed to clean the cameras that film the outdoors, because they have cameras to show that you cannot be outside, you cannot live outdoors. But for some reason, a lot of people are constantly like feeling that they need to go outside. They are starting to doubt the system and say that I think this is a lie. I think that you can actually live outside, and for some reason we are being kept in these silos. So it's about Jules and her starting to figure things out in the silo. This book covers the first and second season, so when I start reading the second book, which is called Shift, that will be like unknown territory. So I already knew about the story, and I would say that this is a very good, like the adaptation is very good based on the books. It's not too much like too many things made up that isn't actually in the book. Some things are a bit changed, of course, as they always are, but I'd say it's a very good adaptation, and I really enjoyed this book. I love dystopian fiction, so this was very much for me. And yeah, I'm gonna read the other two books as well, not right away, but quite soon, so I have read them before the next season will be here. So I did finish this book, and for that book I did enroll 3 items, and these are the only items that I've been working on because I finished everything else off before. So I did enroll my Holo Taco nail polish. It's in the shade Scorched Earth, and I base that on, you know, Earth supposedly being uninhabitable. So that is the only like connection, and I wanted to use this nail polish 3 times. This is a beautiful like nail topper that goes in very like red, but also it has a green flip to it. And I have used this nail polish the 3 times. You can now see that I have a bit of use on this one, which is exciting. I love my indie nail polishes, but I need to like be better at rotating through them. So I can roll this one out. I also enrolled my liquid lipstick from Lethal Cosmetics. This is in the shade Departure, and it's a very nudie pale pink shade. And the shade name Departure I kind of connected to people departing the silo. If they say I want to go out, they are departing the silo.
I want to go out!
Very loosely based here. So I wanted to use this liquid lipstick 20 times. I have used it 11 times since rolling it in. And this is where we are now. So I was actually really, very happy to see that I'm starting to have windowing. It's very exciting. Maybe something to potentially pan. This is the shade. I could add it. This is what I've been doing because I'm very pale. So a lot of lipsticks go very dark on me. And so I've been like using this to brighten the inner part of my lip a little bit. But it's a matte liquid lipstick. It wears well throughout the day. So I'm gonna bust this one out, use the remaining 9 times until next update. I am very sure of that. So that is gonna stay in. I did also enroll an eyeshadow palette. This is the Unearthly Cosmetics In the Dark palette. This is the old one, so it says Alien Cosmetics here. And I enrolled the shade Illusion, and I wanted to hit pan and also use this palette No Pan Left Behind. And Illusion is a very nice iridescent purple pinkish shade. It's super stunning to have on my inner corners, and you can see what it has been looking like. So as of today I have used Illusion 9 times, and I have actually used I think all of the shades in this palette apart from this grey. This is what it's looking like. So obviously we don't have a pan yet, but hopefully by next update. I will be traveling and I'm not gonna bring this palette with me. Or maybe I should make like a build your own Unearthly palette in this one. That is the shade. So I know the new one, they did switch one of these out. I don't remember which one because they're very, very similar in tone. This is the shade Luminous. But Illusions in particular I enrolled because of the people, or like the camera that people see about from the of the outdoors, and people start to think that this is an illusion. It's not what is really there, but the illusion is actually something else. I'm not gonna spoil the book too much, but there is an illusion taking place in this story, and that is why I enrolled this shade. Okay, so those are the items that I have been working on. Before I talk about the book that I'm currently reading and what I will roll in for that, I am going to talk about the books that I have read other than this one, and it's quite a lot, so I'm very, very pleased with that. So let's start with this book. I have read 2 books in Swedish and the rest are in English. This is the Delphine de Vigan, Där barnen är kungar, or Where the Children Are Kings. So she's a French author, and this is a book about Melanie, who is growing up. She is a big fan of reality TV shows, and she becomes like a super big influencer for like a family, you know, family content, children influencer. So she really wants to be remembered and to be noticed, and then she becomes this like mom influencer, and suddenly her daughter is kidnapped. She disappears playing hide and seek, and the main story is like, it's from Melanie's perspective, but it's also from the police woman's perspective who is doing the investigation. So this book, the majority is about, or not the majority, about the disappearance of her daughter, but then you also actually jump forward because the case is solved, and you jump forward to the future where you actually get an insight in the mentality, how these children are as adults. And I think this is a really great book questioning the influencer space, and particularly the exploitation of children for mom influencers or family influencers, bad influencers, you know, where they are constantly being filmed, surveilled, and everything. Like, what does that do to a child to grow up in those circumstances? And also, like, how do we regulate? Because if you're a child actor, you have laws that will prohibit you from working and so on. But if your mom is an influencer and you're part of her videos, how, like, there is no, it was like the Wild West. So I highly recommend this book if you can find it in English or French, if you speak French, you know. I think it was really, really interesting take on the influencer society that we live in, basically. So this one, really nice. I also read the Swedish, and this is by John Ajvide Lindqvist. He is primarily a horror author, and I really enjoy his works. I love his horror stories. This is Skriften I vattnet, the script in the water, written in water, something. And this is more of a police detective story. This is actually, I bought this 3 years ago when I saw him at a book fair or book conference, and he was talking about him being rejected because in Sweden, if you know the Millennium book series by Stig Larsson, that was his name, right? And he died, and then people have been writing books in that series. It's, you know, Men Who Hate Women, Lisbeth Salander, The Hacker Woman, that story. So in Sweden, authors are like given the opportunity to write a book for this, to continue on this universe, basically. And he was, as he's a very famous Swedish author, he was given the opportunity to do so, and then he wrote it, and it wasn't approved. So he talked about the rejection for him as a very well-known author, to be rejected after having that opportunity to write the book. And this is actually like he's rewritten Millennium book. And he made it into that the main character in this one, her name is Julia. And she's an author, and she got the opportunity to write a book for the Millennium series. And she was rejected, and then she is pulled into this detective story and trying to solve a brutal murder or like a mass killing of an entire company, or like of a dinner party in the Swedish archipelago. So it's like he's writing the story as a person who was rejected from writing the Millennial. He's rewriting his story and making it, it's very like, it becomes a bit meta, if you know what I mean. I will say that this was not my favorite book from him. It was pretty mediocre, in my opinion. He has like a good banter and like always writes a bit witty. But when it comes to like detective stories, I would not recommend this one. I'm not gonna read the next books that he released in this series, because as he could not release it as a Millennium book, he made his own book series. This is called Blodstorm and the Blood Storm. But I'm not gonna bother keep reading those. Then we are in spooky season. I did read this book. This is, I love the look of this. This is Horror Stir by Grady Hendrix, and it's obviously supposed to look like an IKEA catalog. And it's a book about, it's a horror story taking place in a mall. But it's not called IKEA, it's called Orsk, which is supposedly the like knockoff version of IKEA. And there's a play, you know, all of the chapters are named after furniture, but it does go a bit weird at the end. So it's like going from being furniture to being like torture devices. Albotark. This was entertaining. I don't read too much horror. Last year, this season, I did actually read House of Leaves, which really like it was very draining to read that book. Loved it, really loved it. Haven't read anything like it, but like the effort it took for me to read it. So this is obviously quite different than that. This, I had to read it because of the looks. It was entertaining, but it wasn't the most memorable. It's, you know, a haunted furniture store. So, but if you need something, if you want to read something a little bit scary for Halloween, maybe this one. The thing that I'm a bit annoyed is that this letter here, like this title doesn't make any sense, because stör, the final word here, if you say it in Swedish, stör, that's either to disturb someone or it's a fish, stör. So it's not like it's a play on store, horror stör, but he just wanted to add a Swedish letter here, and it doesn't really make any sense. It is what it is, you know. This is not, or Grady, is that a woman or a man? I have no clue. But yeah, we did read that one. I also read, finally, it's been sitting, I call them shelf warmers if I had them in my collection for some time. These are shelf warmers that I bought, and I have not had the time to read, and I got the time to read it now. Because my back gave out, so I have been laying down a lot and not been able to move. So I did read In With the Devil. This is by James Keane. This is an autobiography from his time in prison, where he was he was sent to prison because of his drug. He was a drug dealer, a very big drug dealer, not like small time, but heavy drug dealer. And he is contacted by, I think it was the FBI, and they wanted him to try and get a confession out of one of the prisoners, or get the locations from one of the prisoners there, who they said is he's a serial murderer. He's killed probably more than 20 women. But we have only a confession from like two murders. So they want him to kind of on the inside and try and befriend that serial killer and figure out where the bodies are buried. And this is something that I bought after watching the TV show Blackbird. I think it was called Blackbird. It was a great TV show. I highly recommend if you haven't seen it. Skip this one, it's not anything special. Some parts are interesting, but it was a lot of parts that I didn't really care for. You do have some pictures here from the the women that were murdered and also the prisoner. But I watched the TV show, skipped reading the book. I also read this one. This is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. I have been seeing a lot on social media about this book. It was actually written in what I think 1995 or 96. 95. And this is also a dystopian novel. As I said, I love dystopian novels. And it's about 40 women who are locked in a cage underground, and they don't know why they have been locked in there, and you know what is really going on. They are not abused in any way, but they are just locked in a cage. And you follow the voice, the point of view is through the, I don't know if you remember, if you even get her name, but it's a young girl and she's the youngest person in that group of women. And she has never been outside. The other women, they have like memories from their own past life. But this young girl, she has never known anything else than being locked in that cage. And it was a really, really good book. I highly recommend it if you like dystopian fiction, if you like, you know, strong female characters. It was interesting for me because it's not very like heavy on the plot, really. It's not, you are as confused as a reader as the girl that you are reading this story, like the point of view. So it was a bit more mellow, but it was really gripping, I think. I love this one, and I absolutely think that this, you know, it's called a vintage classic. It's gonna be it's a modern classic, absolutely. Highly, highly recommend this one. So that brings me to, those are the books that I read, and now let's talk about the book that I'm currently reading. I started reading this book yesterday, and it is ACOTAR 2, A Court of Mist and Fury. If you didn't know, I have not read ACOTAR before. I have not been feeling too drawn to this like fairy smut discourse that's been going on for a couple of years, but now I am. Now I'm there. So I decided, okay, let's read ACOTAR. Let's finally do it. My friend has been nagging me about doing it for some time as well, so I'm reading the second book now, A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm not going to talk too much because I'm not that far in. I was mildly impressed by the first book, but as I've understood, they are getting better. And like the first book is not really super representative of the main, like what will happen to this story. So there we are. Not too hyped on the first book. I think I gave it a 3-star on Goodreads. I have my Goodreads linked in the description box if you're wondering. Okay, so let's talk about what I will roll in for this book. I'm gonna roll in another eyeshadow palette, and I will try and I try to use this project as a no pan left behind. Do I like this palette still or not? Do I want to keep it in my collection? And of course to like try and hit pan. So I'm gonna roll in my Colorpop Sprinkle A Little Magic palette. This is the Tinkerbell palette, and yeah, it's been quite neglected in my collection. This is what it's looking like, and I want to roll this one in to use it no pan left behind and to try and hit one pan if I feel like I still want to keep it. If I have used the shades and I feel like no, I'm not jiving with this one anymore, I will declutter it before hitting pan. So and obviously this is a Tinkerbell palette. Tinkerbell is a fairy. She's obviously like a little small fairy. She's not a high fae, but ACOTAR is about fae people, like fairies and shit. So that is a connection here. We're gonna use this no pan left behind, see if I want to keep it, if I want to try and hit one pan in here as well. I'm gonna roll in another nail polish. As I said, I do have a lot of indie nail polish. polishes that I want to rotate through. This is Vanessa Molina. It's from their Corpse Bride collection, and the shade is called We Will Have a Wedding, right? We Will Have a Wedding. And it's this beautiful purple, teal, multi-chrome shade. It is absolutely stunning. And this, in connection to this book, when you start reading this one, Feyre, how do you say that? Feyre, and the protagonist of these books, she is about to get married to Tamlin, and as I understand, I haven't read these books, but I understand that Tamlin, he will go from the first book to being like favorite, and then to like everyone hating him, wanting to kill him. So I know that Tamlin is not the good guy for all of the books, but in the beginning of these books, as what I have read, she is going to marry Tamlin. That is the story. So the shade name, we will have a wedding. They will have a wedding. Finally, I'm gonna roll in a lip liner. This is one of my oldest makeup items in my entire collection. It's by Nouba. I don't even know if this is still a brand. It's just a red lip liner that I should work on a bit more. And I'm rolling this one in to use... I want to use this one 3 times. But I want to use this lip liner 10 times. And why this one? Well, in the last book, Fairy is obviously very traumatized from the events that took place under the mountain. And in this book, when you start reading, she's so traumatized, and the color red is something she cannot stand anymore. So I'm rolling in a red lip liner in to symbolize because of the color red and the symbolism that it has in this book. So that is it, guys. Those are the items. So we are obviously gonna keep on working on illusion here, and we have 11 more uses on this lipstick. Then we have No Pan Left Behind, Hit One Pan in this one, 10 uses on the lip liner and 3 uses on the nail polish. So hopefully I will have something out by the next update, but I also will be traveling, and I'm not gonna bring all of this with me traveling, so we shall see how much damage I can do. But that is gonna wrap it up for this update. Please let me know in the comments what you have read recently, if you have read anything new and exciting. It's always so fun to hear from you, and I also love to get recommendations for books. As I said, like this one I've been seeing a lot on social media, so that is why I read it now. I love book recommendations, so give them to me. I want to hear it. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and you know, if you like it, you should stick around. I'm trying to do a bit more shorts here. Maybe, I don't know, do you want to see book content on shorts? Perhaps, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that is it. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!